Nozintombi, a very good afternoon to you. Give us an update.
Thank you so much, Nzinga. We certainly are here in Alexandra. And where we're standing right now is at the Alex FM studios that was broken into, vandalized and looted in the early hours of yesterday morning. And with me is the program manager, the station manager of Alex FM. Thank you, sir. Just introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Takalani Demangoe. I'm the station manager of Alex FM.
Takalani, when we spoke of air, you said the damages was worth about 5 million. What happened?
Well, in the early hours of yesterday, at around 2, 3, the criminal elements that were masquerading as protesters, they came through to our station and looted. They took everything. The room that we're in, it was a studio, our on-air studio. It was a state-of-the-art studio that we worked for the past 27 years to get where we were in terms of this studio. But today is how it is.
This must be absolutely devastating for you as residents of Alexandra, as well as the newsmakers and news leaders in Alex.
Of course, this is very devastating, and it's a very sad day or period for the community of Alexandra, because now the community of Alexandra, they don't have a voice, because Alex FM was the voice of the community of Alexandra. It was a platform that was available for the community to engage and seek solutions and also hold the executive to account on various issues. But today, they don't have a radio station. But it's very sad because it's the very same community members who are from here in Alex, and they are known by other community members who came in here and steal from themselves, because this station does not belong to me, does not belong to the ministry, it belongs to the community of Alexandra.
All right, thank you so much, Minister. I'm going to bring you in here. Absolutely devastating what's been done here to Alex FM. I'm sure you must have firm words to the protesters that engaged in this looting.
Well, firstly, before I talk to those that are involved in the criminal elements, I want to thank the communities that have come forward to say they're going to protect their country by protecting their properties, therefore protecting the building that we are in now. Because the reason this building has not been vandalized in totality is because of the community members who took a stand. And for that, we say bravo to them, and the ANC government remains indebted to them. But of course, we cannot celebrate when there are people who see a need to undermine the constitutional rights of others. As they do, we do understand and have an appreciation that people may not be happy about certain things, but that does not give them a right to go and destroy. Therefore, to all those that are engaging to criminal elements, we want to plead with them to desist from that, because they are really forcing South Africans, this is not just a government matter, they're forcing South Africans to do whatever that they must do to protect their country. And we say to them, we believe that you still want your life back, and therefore stay home, and even if you protest, walk on the streets, don't undermine, don't vandalize, and don't get to engage in criminal elements.
Minister, before we continue with the walkabout in the studio, you went to the Pan-African Mall, which was one of the heavily guarded places yesterday, and also heavily looted places. What did you see there?
My heart is bleeding as I'm speaking to you. They've destroyed everything in that mall, including the post office that is there. They've destroyed all the equipment, from laptops, from safes, all the machines that people utilize, including that gives access to people that must have the SASSA cards. Now the post office can no longer print if we do not do anything. But fortunately, as a current government, once this started, we then said, what's the plan B? Because ours is to make sure that we can continue serving the people of South Africa, irrespective of what the criminals want to achieve. We're not going to allow any economic sabotage. This is why we have, as I'm speaking to you, the CEOs of Post Office, CETA and Centec are gathered together to make sure that we provide laptops, they are programmed, and we're going to provide a container to make sure that the people of Alex, they have access to the services that they must enjoy. This is also happening also, as you have heard, in KZN, they've vandalized many post offices, they've burned them down, and this is why we are calling upon them and their communities to stand up and work with the law enforcement agencies, including the protection of the journalists, that we have seen a very foreign behavior from South Africans, if they are South Africans, that decide to then want to bully the journalists that are carrying out the message. Let the journalists tell the story of the people the way it is.
Minister, shall we continue with our walkabout and just to ask you some of the closing questions? We can see, Nzinga, that this is some of the areas that have been vandalized in the studio. Minister, so what now will happen to those people that need to get access to their SASSA? We know that you're planning for next month. What then happens?
As I said, the team is working today to make sure that the computers are programmed, because that's the first thing, access to the system, and the teams are working as I'm speaking to you. And then, as I said again, we are looking for space wherein we're going to provide a container so that people can go and access those services. We are working with the law enforcement agencies that are coming on board to make sure that they can safeguard those interventions that we are making, so that when people need to access the services, they can access. But of course, unfortunately, between today and tomorrow, the people will not have access to the services. But as from next week, the people will have full access to the services that they must enjoy.
All right, thank you so much, Minister of Communications. Just continuing with a walkabout here in these studios at the Alex FM, just to ask my camera colleague, Ronewa, just to show you inside some of these other places that have been looted and vandalized. You can just see that it's been absolutely gutted in Zinga. These are the scenes that we're seeing here in Alex. We were just inside the Pan-African Mall, which is right in front of the Alex FM studios, and it's absolutely gutted. It's devastating what we're seeing, and it's going to take the community as well as government to make sure that they start rebuilding the shops that have been looted, the centers that have been looted, and rebuilding the businesses that have been absolutely devastated by the pandemonium and chaos that we've been seeing over the past couple of days in Zinga.
Nozintombi Miya giving us an update from Alexandra.